DC Fitness Squad, what is going on? Happy Tuesday. Hope you're all doing well and amazing today. Today we have my client, Al, on the podcast. So excited. Al, what is going on? How are you, man?
I'm doing good. How is everybody?
We are doing awesome. So I appreciate everybody for tuning in. If you're watching this live and you're tuning in, you could just hashtag I'm here. And if you just want to watch on the replay as well, learn about Al, his story, it's definitely going to be inspiring. Lost 25 pounds in 2 months. He's got even more progress since then. So we're going to talk about that. If you're watching on the replay, hashtag replay, that would be great. But I'm excited. I'm excited for this podcast. Let me just start this podcast up. I should have been more prepared, but let me get the actual podcast setup going, and then I will start the recording, and we will go from there. I'm getting some comments on Instagram that we are here. We are tuning in. Make sure if you are tuning in, no matter where, you hashtag I'm here. And if you are on the replay, hashtag replay. That's definitely going to be important. I just want to know who's tuning in. And me and Al, we talked about this. Like, we're just doing this to change one life, right? So Al was someone that was kind of just struggling, and now he's crushing it. So we want to help inspire a lot of gentlemen out there that were in his situation. All right. So let me get this going, and we will start the podcast from there. Al, is that good with you? All set?
All set.
All right, let's go. So let me get this going. There we go. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Men's Fat Loss Made Easy podcast, where I'm here to give you massive value that you can implement on your fat loss journey. Today, we are coming at you live with a special guest star, my client, Al. Al, what is going on? How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I am doing great. Thank you so much for tuning into the podcast and just giving me the opportunity to interview you, because I know you got amazing results in the program. I know you can inspire a lot of gentlemen that are kind of struggling right now. So, and kind of before we talked about this, before I started the podcast, like, Al is on this podcast to change at least one life, right? We're doing this to inspire some other individuals. We want to make sure that, kind of like Al, he was struggling before. And a lot of guys that are watching right now, you're struggling, right? You're struggling to feel confident in your clothes or without your clothes, or just looking in the mirror. And I want to help you lose that weight, lose that fat. And Al is going to help you and inspire you with his story. All right. So let's get into it, and let's just give the audience a bit of a backstory, Al, if that's completely okay with you, right? Like, how old you are, what you do for work, and where you are from. Let's start there, Al, if we can.
Sounds good. Well, I am 30 years old. I've lived in Minneapolis, sort of the Minneapolis metro area,
Mhm.
my whole life. And for work, I've just I've actually recently found out a way to sort of market my own skills. So I'm
Nice.
sort of an entrepreneur of my own skills, I guess, my own work
Nice.
skills. Yeah.
Nice. Nice. Like, what kind of things? What kind of skills?
Um, Well, I've got years of experience in restaurant and retail management. I've got
Sweet.
years of experience in warehouse, machine operator,
Okay.
different, a lot of different various types of machines. As a driver, I was a forklift driver and a clamp
Mm.
truck driver.
Mm.
Um, and recently, carpentry. So I've been working with my uncle since I was about 16 years old,
Nice.
doing carpentry jobs.
Nice, nice. Got a bunch of skills, and now you're trying to monetize it, dude. That's awesome. That's awesome. And I know we're going to talk about it in a little bit, but like, how that weight loss has actually helped with like those skills and your confidence with entrepreneurship. We're going to talk about that. But that's kind of just a backstory about Al. So Al, like, before you and I worked together, let's get back on your fitness journey. Like, you were kind of stuck. So what was the biggest struggle in your fitness journey kind of before working with us?
Well, there's a lot about my story that I would probably find pretty unique. I was actually at a decent pace. I had a good mindset. I was, had a good daily routine. I was getting exercise every day, pushing
Yep.
myself to do it. But where I was banging my head against the wall was kind of with, I would spend a lot of time weightlifting and a lot of time walking and a lot of time uh, doing various things. Like, and I looked up a lot of this stuff on YouTube, a lot of the exercises that I ended up doing, and sort of formulated my own plan. And when I started on this program, I noticed that I would spend maybe like a third of the amount of time or half of the amount of time weightlifting, and I was getting a much better result.
Hmm.
More,
Got it.
I really felt like you were more in tune with what my body needed to complete my goals.
Hmm. Definitely. Yeah. 100%.
I wouldn't say I was stuck, but this really cleared the way, and now I'm just soaring.
Yes, yes, sir. So before, like you kind of talked about, you were trying to put in the work, you were YouTubing, Googling, trying to get all this research, but you weren't really getting the results. So how was that kind of like negatively impacting you in a way?
Um, I guess it set me back from, my original intention. I started doing this fitness thing daily last October,
Yeah.
and um, yeah, just really, I felt like I wasn't getting a lot of results, and sometimes progress isn't so uh, obvious,
Mm,
But since
mhm,
starting the program, I've noticed like little muscles that I didn't even know I had, like really coming in full, and various things like I guess I was never really out of shape, but I was always kind of slender, and building my shoulders is a big goal of mine, and things like that. But I can actually flex my chest muscles now, independent of my arm muscles, which is like something totally new for me. It's like I don't know. It's
yeah, dude, pop those pecs. That's awesome. That's so awesome. So, yes, you've been kinda just going from, like, you were trying before but didn't have, like, the right strategy, the right methods. I definitely understand that. And then you started, like, watching my content. Obviously, you signed up in the program and you talked about, like, now you see, like, muscles you haven't saw before. You're popping your pecs. I love it. But, like, when you and I first started talking and when you and I first met, what was your initial hesitation in before deciding to work with me? Because I know it's an online coach, right? I know you're traveling a lot, right? In the beginning of your program, you were traveling a lot. So you're like, how are you going to make this work? So talk about kind of those hesitations if you can.
Well, I think a lot of it came from my own sort of. I wasn't really sure what my plan was at the time,
Mm,
uh, and I guess some of what I had planned it didn't quite work out exactly as I had planned. But some ideas you put on the back burner, so
yep.
kind of what I did. But um, it was something new. I'm not a. I was never into going to the into the gym.
Mm,
When I went for maybe 2 weeks. I had some gym buddies. I went for maybe like 2 weeks, but it wasn't something that I wanted to do. It was more something that I did because my friends were doing it, and I wanted to have something in common with them or whatever,
mm,
something like that. So it was just kind of like it was a new thing, and I was like, I don't know if this is gonna be my thing. But it was
mm,
like as soon as I actually started and I put uh, held myself to it and held myself responsible for it, it was it was like I need to be on this program.
mm.
This is the way to go.
I love that. I love that. And it's like, I think that's the biggest thing. If like guys listening to this, to the podcast, live training, it starts with that first step, right? So for you, it was just like, I'm not really sure. Like it's a little bit uncomfortable. But once you just get going, like that's where it just becomes easy. So I love that. So, right. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you started the program and then you started to, I mean, we've been working together for about, 3 to 4 months now and just talk about, some of the results that you've gotten in the program specifically.
Uh, I guess the one that I'm really happy about is like I was saying, I'm finding little muscles. I didn't even know like there's obviously the chest and the shoulder, but I'm finding muscles like underneath here in my head, and I can
Mm,
feel 'em when I really work out. I can feel the soreness, and that tells me that I'm actually like building those muscles. And
mm,
I'm in the best shape of my life. like I said, I'm slender, but I've always had kind of a pot belly, you know. I guess I never really got rid of my baby fat or whatever, you know. And but my love handles, my love handles, are like slow. They're like almost totally disappeared. Um, I don't know. A lot of people might have experience with like if you're walking or jogging, you can feel, you know, everybody's got some body fat. I don't want to say people who are like that or whatever, but you can feel it going up and down, and that's starting
Mhm.
to like go away. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but I'm not quite there yet, but I'm like building the foundation for what my ultimate goal is to become a model and be able to earn money doing that, you know. So
Nice.
I can
Dude, I
already
love it.
I'm laying the foundation for that body.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I
awesome.
love it. I love it, dude. No, I didn't want to chime in. Like that was amazing and that was super specific as well. Like the results that you're getting. And I totally understand because I was 30 pounds heavier with like you're walking and you get like this jiggly feel, especially like if you're playing a sport or doing an activity or maybe like beach volleyball and you're like running and you're like you feel that jiggle. Obviously like the love handles. So it's awesome. You're like feeling the best you ever have in your life. That's incredible. And like those changes are really coming into fruition, like you're losing a lot of body fat, seeing those different muscles. That's freaking awesome. So honestly, I'm just wondering, like outside of fitness, how do you think these changes are impacting you in your life? Because you talked about like the model career, that's freaking huge. So now like you have to sell your body, right? Your body is everything. Your body's your income. So with like outside of fitness, like how do you think this is really going to change your life, and how has it already changed your life and like your energy levels, your confidence, stuff like that?
Yeah. Mindset is a huge thing, and I think in order to, and I have actually some friends that are heavier set, that are just crushing it, and they're doing like even way more than I'm doing, and I'm so impressed, so surprised. My friend John just walked like he put in like 13 miles, and he was hiking, so he wasn't even like on a sidewalk or some sort of trail, hiking through the woods for like 13 miles yesterday, and I'm
Wow.
like, you know, and he's getting a lot of results too. He's really slimming down, and he's like, it's something about being on that edge, having that momentum. You have to keep going. It sucks. And as far as confidence, like I feel like I'm for the first time in my life, I'm kind of more confident, being at the beach with my shirt off and things like that. I would actually be more confident, except I've got the Midwestern farmer's tan that I have, I have to get rid of that before I go totally shirtless.
That is hilarious.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, 100%. And I think that's just like what a lot of guys want, go to the pool or the beach or the lake and be able to take off their shirt, feel confident, feel good with a significant other, friends, family, right? You just don't want to be like hiding yourself. So I love that you're feeling a lot better. I probably can't help you with the tan line. No, but like, you know what I mean? But the fact that like you can fix that tan line, but like in terms of your weight, you're actually like permanently feeling good, feeling confident, and we're gonna make this change for good. Like this is a lifestyle now. Would you agree? Like this is like there is no other way. There is no turning back from here.
Oh, absolutely. And my longer term goals, I have a deep distrust of the healthcare system. Um, I believe that it helps very small percentage of people. But I'd like to start something, maybe my own business. I was looking at maybe getting certified for nutrition and health coach, fitness coach,
Dude,
and
nice.
yeah, and
That makes me so happy.
I want to get people more in tune with the lifestyle that's going to be preventative rather than, you know, you take a pill for the pain, and
Mhm.
even I don't even take ibuprofen because it's really hard on your stomach and your liver and things like that. And so I want to get people to do that. And my goal for my life, I was born with pretty incredibly flat wide feet. I've got like they're basically duck feet, and it can be really hard on my knees and my lower back. And so as I grow older, I want to, basically shore up my defenses. I want to strengthen my knees, strengthen my back. I want to be when I'm 40, I want to be in great shape. When I'm
Mm,
50, I want to be in great shape. I want to get there and maintain that through my 40s, my 50s, my 60s. I could be you do see sometimes you see people who have stuck with it their whole lives. They can still do incredible things. You see people in their 60s that can model or um, I was watching a TikTok a few weeks ago. There was this 82-year-old woman like like lifting heavier weights than I can lift. You know what I mean?
wow.
And the comment was, it was something like, "Well, if she can do it, what's your excuse?"
Mm,
And somebody replied, "Well, I haven't been training my whole life to do that." And it's like, exactly,
mhm.
exactly. How you get to that point is you have to get there and maintain it. That woman's been training for 60 years, you know.
Mm, mm.
So
No.
it's
Yeah, 100%. I love
and getting on, eating healthy, getting on a good routine, um, paying a coach to help you is going to be
mm.
much much cheaper than having to deal with whatever is coming later in life. I hope that it might happen anyway, but I hope to avoid having to be in a wheelchair, having to pay costs for um, surgeries on my knees and my hips or whatever, later on in life. So that's my goal.
Dude, I love that. That was all amazing. And I love that you said like the cost of paying a coach is cheaper if you let like the doctor decide later on down the road because knee surgeries, back surgeries, because you're not taking care of your weight, like all that stuff. That's just amazing that you said that. And I love that you said like the longevity aspect. You know what I mean? Like training now so you can just sustain that in your 40s, your 50s, and you could teach like your family, your friends, these people that you meet, you could leave an impact because at the end of the day, when you're gone, the only thing left is your legacy. And like, what are you teaching people? How are you inspiring people? So dude, I absolutely love that goal and I could resonate with all of that. All right. So last thing, Al, is like for anyone that's listening to this, that we just gave like a lot of value and I appreciate you telling your story. So for anyone listening to this, thinking about starting their own fitness journey, like what would you say to them?
Uh, well, I think it starts with mindset and nutrition. I would suggest find somebody who's talking about the hard things. Find somebody who's talking about, because everybody goes through tragedy. That's the old story of life. Everyone's dealing with something, and there's a lot of stressors in your life. And I bet you, if you could get to the point where you weren't putting out fires all the time, you would be sitting there thinking, what do I do now? I need something to do, you know? So find somebody who's talking about picking yourself up off the ground. Stop making excuses. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Take responsibility for your life. Take responsibility for how you feel. So there's a mindset part of it, and then nutrition. I was curled up on the couch before every morning with gut rot before I found, I have this superfoods powder mix that I drink every morning that really helps me eat better and live a healthier lifestyle, like nutrition wise. So those would be the two things that I would suggest that would really boost you into a good fitness regimen.
I love it. I love it 100%. And just like kind of like what you said, just like starting it up and finding the uplifting people that will take you there. Because I think there is like a lot of negative people, or just not a negative people. We live in like a chaotic world, right? And a lot of negative things are going on. If you're watching like the news all the time, they're always like throwing fear at you. And it's like, what do we do now? Right. And it's like working on yourself, self development, working on your mindset, working on your nutrition, changing old habits. So I love that you said that. And another thing, Al, is like the self responsibility, like putting out fires and just realizing like you are living this life on your own terms, right? If you are not happy with your body, you're not happy with your job, like don't blame anyone else but yourself and just take initiative, take action now, right? Is that kind of what you meant?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean for a long time, I guess, I've been through some stuff. It could have been worse, could have been better. I'm not complaining, but for a long time I blamed other people, even a little bit, right? You could even say, well, how could I have shown up differently in that situation, and maybe I could have changed the outcome, but I still blame this other person for how that all went down and everything that happened. It's like you have to it's like that. I think it's a prayer, right? How does it go? Accept the things you can't, what is it? Accept the things you can't change.
Mm,
Change, have the wisdom to know the difference. Something like that,
mm-hmm.
you know. And you'll find. I think a lot of people find that the thing that you actually have control over is yourself, your body. And sometimes not even that, right? So you have to start with that. You have to build yourself, and then you'll find that you actually do have a lot of influence of over the world, over things around you, your house, your community, your friends, your family, things like that.
Yes, I love that for sure, 100%. And like that's just all like right mindset related. So if you could really just change your mindset first, then the body will follow and kind of like what you said, control what you can. And I know the exact prayer slash quote you're talking about. I can't freaking I don't know what it actually is. It's like no, you hit it on the nail, but it's talking about like control what you can control, forget about what you can't control, and have the wisdom to tell the difference. You know what I mean? Like if you're looking at a situation, like if it's in the past or if it's something in the future, that's where people really get it wrong. Like if it's something that happened before or if it's something in the future, like you really cannot change it. You have no outcome control, especially with another person. Like you can't control how somebody else shows up. Don't have expectations for somebody else if you can't control them, right? So it's like it's doing that and then clearing your mind of all that negative stuff. And when you have all that mental bandwidth back, that's when you could start really working on your health, your wealth, your relationships, and start leveling up your life, right? So, dude, that's exactly right. Everything you just said hit it on the nail for sure. So, do you have any? That's it. That is all Men's Fat Loss Made Easy podcast. I appreciate you tuning in. But, Al, do you have any final thoughts or anything at all?
No, I think we laid it out pretty well.
Yeah. Yeah. No, 100%. I think we did a good job like sharing your story. And, it's kind of always like with that coming back to that 82-year-old woman, it's like, if her, why not you? Right? She's doing it. Why not you? And Al, like, you're just an individual that's trying to, get better, feel better. And there's so many gentlemen that are in your shoes that are struggling. Right. So hopefully we change at least one freaking life with this podcast. Hopefully you implement and get value, but we appreciate you. All right. We are logging out here. Al, you could stay right there. I'm going to chat with you after I end this. But everybody else, I appreciate you. Have the best day and talk to you soon. See ya.